Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV. Gonna be casting a game between Devil and WhiteRa. It is a PvZ on Tal'DArim altar. If you don't know who Devil is, he is a Czech Zerg player who plays in a lot of those daily and weekly cups and consistently gets to those final rounds. Somehow, he never manages to get cheesed out in those BO1s. He is a very solid Zerg player, just hasn't won anything too major, so you may not know who he is. But back when I did a lot of tournament casting, I really looked for this guy's games because he always seems to find entertaining games, and he is matched up against WhiteRa, who is one of the most entertaining and respected players around. The only player that may have more respect than WhiteRa is Boxer himself. WhiteRa, known as Grandpa Toss, as he's been in the scene forever and even has kids of his own, to my knowledge. He's been in the scene so long that he did play Brood War and was televised in Korea, or at least I am pretty darn sure he is one of the few foreigners who ever got televised over in Korea. We do have him going to be sending out his probe scout over to Devil's base, and does throw a 9-pylon down, looking like he does want to go for a Forge Phasix expand. The probe is going to get in, doesn't see any pulls just yet, and it looks like Devil may be going for a 14 pull. Doesn't have any gas yet, so I'm kind of curious if he gets that after the pull or not. And the one probe, being as annoying as possible, does pick up some minerals, and now is going to jet on out there, sees that 14 pull, so he knows it's not going to be a hatch first build out of Devil. And I know many Protoss players just hope Zerg players go for the hatch first against them, but Zerg players have learned their lesson. Always open up with that pull, either at 11, 12, or 14, it seems. The only difference is if they end up getting gas or not. If they don't get gas, you see a lot of Protoss players going for a cannon before... a gateway before their cannon, especially on a map like Tal'DArim Altar, which is absolutely huge. And we do have a drone scout going out, and it's going in the same direction as the Overlord. That is a little bit odd. Maybe this Overlord did catch a glimpse of which direction the probe came from, as he does find WhiteRa right away, and is going to be throwing down the hatch to block WhiteRa's expansion, because WhiteRa has blocked his own with a pylon. And now the drone is going to be just chasing that one probe on out. WhiteRa, of course, does know about the hatch. And WhiteRa is going to have to place 2 cannons if he wants to take this hatch out before it can produce a queen, which puts a creep tumor back here. I have watched a lot of cat streams, and a lot of Protoss players just put 1 cannon, deal with a hatch, and he gets his queen out. And oh man, is it pretty funny. There we go. The second cannon has been produced. We do have the Lings out, taking out this one pylon, and now going to be chasing the probe down. Will retreat back to its base. I don't think it will get taken out. Meanwhile, Devil is just going to be droning up right now and does start his natural hatch. And we'll see if he ends up canceling this or not. He could easily cancel this as soon as it's about done being completed because, well, he's got his hatch up. He knows that WhiteRa can't get the Nexus up before his hatch. So he's in a fairly good position. This one probe going to be going off in an odd direction. One Ling decides to chase it. And will Devil try to run by? We do have another probe. What is WhiteRa doing with these 2 probes? Is determined to get a probe hidden on the map, as we do have them running all around. I'm a little bit curious why Devil is not trying to run by, because now WhiteRa has plenty of time to get a full wall up. He is going to be letting this hatch just die naturally. Chose not to cancel it. Is going to try to get the queen out, but that is not going to happen. I did not see his minerals go up when that hatch falls, so it looks like he lost 150 minerals for that queen. But because the hatch fell, the Broodlings attack the cannons. Those Lings do run by. And that's something I'm very interested about. Do we get those minerals back if you lose the hatch and queen? It looks like you do. I mean, he's only lost 400 in that tab. So maybe he just spent a lot of money. Maybe he bought a queen as he canceled a queen. There goes a queen in production. So that very well could be the case. Those Lings are going to surround that one Zealot and now try to go to town on WhiteRa. You do see him putting 4 probes in that gas temporarily. He is a little bit flustered by these Lings. 6, 8, 7 Lings getting in your mineral line is a pain to deal with. But thankfully for him, Devil doesn't really have that much gas, hasn't even started gas mining, even though he's building the Roach one. That may be a little bit of a mistake for put those guys on gas, just focusing on those Lings. And the Roach one is going to complete, but Devil hasn't mined any gas, so he will not be able to build any Roaches. The Stalker does come out, and he will be able to kite these Lings for some time and take them out. It does put attention away from the probes. He is going to go in a spot where those Lings cannot get a good surround on him. WhiteRa going to try to get us around, and the Stalker does move out of the way into the mineral line, and is going to be chasing these Lings, going to go back into the mineral line, and that's not where the Lings want to be. The probes do get pulled off the line. and take those Lings out. We do not have +1 on the way yet. He is getting a Zealot out now. Has a probe just going on around just to get a scout to see exactly what Devil is doing, and he is now mining that gas. I'm kind of curious if he was mining that before, if he would have went for like a roach bust, because, well, WhiteRa got delayed just a little bit. He delayed some of this gas timing, which could mean lower Stalker numbers, but it looks like 2 cans. That would be more than enough to deal with any type of roach aggression, I think. So maybe that wasn't a mistake, him not putting guys on gas, but just curious why he got that roach one so early. Going to the worker count, it is 35 drones to 29 probes. WhiteRa's Nexus is up and now going to be producing those probes and try to catch up in that worker count. He is taking out these rocks. Going to be trying to go on a 3rd base as his probe is just scouting around to see if Devil has taken any hidden expos to make sure he is still indeed on 2 bases. Devil only on 2 gases is going to start that lair now. And I'm wondering when he's going to start getting more gases. It doesn't look like he's going to be going into Mutalisk play just because he's not getting a lot of gas. There goes the 3rd gas, but if it was Mutas, I would assume he would get this 4th one as well, and that would have been much, much earlier, and he would be stacking more gas. And more drones still just being built. He is going on 4 gases right now. WhiteRa going to be going on his 3 gases, getting 2 more gateways. And this Cybernetics Core is still researching warp gates. This should not be happening right now. That should finish before the 8-minute mark. And it is going over into the 9, may finish around like 10. And that is such a late start to getting your warp gates done. WhiteRa definitely was set behind to buy that aggression from Devil. Stalker on this watchtower going to keep on holding it, and he has to be careful. It does only take 3 to 4 Lings to kill a Stalker, and Speedlings are much faster than Stalkers, so he can't leave that on the watchtower too long. He decides to pull that on back. We do have 3 Overlords on the way for Devil as he was supply capped, but the Infestation Pit now just about done. He will be going into Ling Infester, it looks like. As well, he does have Roach 1, but he is not getting any type of glial Roach Speed. That's much easier to say. Roach Speed upgrades he is choosing not to get, and he's also getting the melee attack with the armor upgrade. While WhiteRa, he is now starting on his +2 ground weapons. And we do have Banelings morphing somewhere. Oh no, that's an Overseer morphing. As a Baneling's Nest is just being produced, and that Overseer will get the scout on WhiteRa. WhiteRa already pulling his Stalkers to try to get some damage done. He does not want Devil to get a complete scout on him. And yeah, Devil has no idea what WhiteRa is doing right now. But the Overseer is done. He will be trying to make his way into the base. There he goes, passing that 1 pylon. He wants to see what WhiteRa is doing. WhiteRa, of course, is getting another gate right here. He will see all 3 of those gates, but he will not get a chance to see the Twilight Council, which would be a big indicator of what WhiteRa is doing. He will have Blink Stalkers. A Changeling is coming in, but immediately gets toasted. WhiteRa going up on his 3rd base. At the same time, Devil is taking his 3rd. Devil has no idea about it, and WhiteRa also has no idea. You can see the creep spread pretty nice by Devil. Does have 3 tumors out of the map, trying to expand it as far as he possibly can. We do have Baneling speed on the way, and I have not seen Banelings used against Protoss for some time, just because Protoss does have their sentries, which makes Banelings pretty silly. Get a few force fields in either Colossus or High Templar with Storm, and those Banelings do absolutely 0 damage. And also with all these Lings, I got a question. Is Devil really thinking that WhiteRa is just not teching up right now? He doesn't see that much. If there was a Colossus coming out, well, he would be screwed. We know there is no Robo Facility, let alone... Oh, no, there is a Robo Facility, but no Robo Bay. Does WhiteRa see that? No, he does not. I mean, Devil does not see that. Of course, WhiteRa sees his own Robo Facility. We do have the 3rd base now completing. And Devil just taking complete map control. He is on 3 bases, up to 60 drones. Moving in 11 Banelings right now. He does not have any on the field just yet. He does have a 2-2 on the way. And I think Devil should be expanding again right now. We will probably see him take his 4th base within the next 2 minutes of this game. He does have complete map control right now. We can go to his vision. You can see if WhiteRa ever try to move out. While WhiteRa doesn't really see that much, but he does have the Observer out on the field now, is going to be seeing this 3rd base. And he could click on the mineral patches to see, hey, do you have how long has this been up? He doesn't see many drones here, so he probably is going to assume it has been up that long. If he saw like 1470 on one mineral field and then goes over to his and sees 1455, he's going to know, okay, we took these at the same exact time. I am not far behind economically. We do have the Overseer going to be seeing that, and 2 queens do come out from Devil to take that one Observer out. And Devil has 6 queens out. This one macro hatch has quite a few larvae on it. Devil actually has a lot of larvae just laying around. And he would definitely benefit him to take his 4th base sometime soon. Looks like he is going to be trying to do some type of 3 base timing attack against Protoss. And generally those do not work out too well. We do have WhiteRa with his Robo Bay up, going to be getting the Warp Prism speed upgrade. And we'll be seeing some special tactics momentarily, it looks like, as WhiteRa very skilled with that one Warp Prism. He will, he's kind of like Grubby, how he always likes to have at least 1 Warp Prism out on the field. Will stop Colossus production to keep those Warp Prism counts up. At least keep 1 Warp Prism out on the field. And there we go, Devil finally deciding it is safe for him to take his 3rd base. He is at 137 food or 149 food, while WhiteRa is at 141. And we do have the Ultralisk Cavern on the way. And there are 9 queens out, so this Ultralisk play may be pretty devastating. The only downside to it is WhiteRa does kill all this creep and take those tumors back to Devil's base, then Devil won't be able to be too aggressive. Ultralisks are going to be scary because he has all those queens as the backbone to keep them transfused. If he can't do that, then, well, his Ultralisk will die relatively quickly, and he won't be able to do all that much damage. We do have WhiteRa now coming in to attack Devil's 3rd base. Devil is getting in position, does have plenty of Lings, Banelings, and Infestors. Gets a nice fallen growth, and those Banelings do get a good hit just before the force fields go down. And that Colossus really low on life, getting low very quickly. Infestitans do come out and is forcing WhiteRa to pull back. Meanwhile, Adrenal Glands is on the way, and those Lings are chasing down the force. Not scared of that Colossus' height. The Colossus, of course, does not want to turn around because he is really low on life. The Warp Prism is now out. And we'll see what WhiteRa ends up doing with that. He does have 1 Zealot now, going to be taking out Devil's 4th base. As WhiteRa takes his own 4th base. We have this 1 creep spread just going all the way down there. WhiteRa not doing the best job at denying this, kind of just chilling out on the creep. And that's not something you want to do against a Zerg player who has Infestors just because... Oh, there he goes. Takes that out. Okay. I was about to say, just because you're sitting where they have vision, they can easily just fungal your entire army. We do have 4 Ultralisks on the way, and Devil trying to not engage until those come out because his queens are going to be exponentially more useful. And now we have WhiteRa going to be using that Warp Prism, going to drop a few Zealots in that mineral line. And this one Zealot is already gone there. Ultralisks do come out, and how silly does that look? Those Zealots are stopping those Ultras from moving. At the same time, WhiteRa is going to go and take out this 3rd base, but the drones are going to live, and that is one of the main things to keep alive is those drones. Since WhiteRa doesn't do any damage to the drones, it is not going to be that bad. At the same time, whooping in a lot of units in Devil's main base. Those Zealots do get fungal growth, and now those queens are going to take out the Warp Prism. And the Zealots are going to go down, but Devil has lost his 4th base, so it is going to be a 4-base Protoss to a 3-base Zerg. Devil, his 3-3 just about done. WhiteRa is getting a Templar Archives because it is going to be needed to feed back those queens. Unless the Ultralisks just will not die. Look at all that transfused energy that Devil will have. And here we go. Devil is going to engage. Use the Infestors to root them in place. The Ultras to break the force fields. And then the queens to keep everything alive and spread this creep. And when you have this many queens, you can spread creep pretty quickly. And if you wanted to, he could even use those Overlords. He doesn't have Overlord speed upgrade, which is a little bit surprising. Generally, when you see players going for this, they do have that Overlord speed upgrade just so they can launch quick attacks without spreading the creep, just creating Overlord highways. And 3 Ultras look like they have been forgotten about in the main base. He does have 4 up by his army. And those Lings are going to be pretty scary. Soon to be 3-3 with Adrenal Glands. That DPS is going to be absolutely insane. But WhiteRa is getting in Archons now with Immortals. Has 3 Colossus, so those Lings will get evaporated. Does have Storm done as well, I think. But does he have any High Templars out on the field? Yes, he does keep 4. Devil going to be double expanding, taking his 3rd base again, and a base all the way down there. We do have a few Zealots going to try to clean what creep team as they can because WhiteRa knows he cannot let that get over to his base. He will be in a lot of trouble. There's 3 Ultras still forgotten about, and that is a big portion of Devil's army. It may not seem like that much when you have this many Ultras with his army, but 3 definitely do make a big deal. Those are very expensive units. And I don't think he'd be leaving 3 Ultras to deal with any type of Warp Prism aggression, because that would be a lot of Zealots it would take to kill just those 3 Ultralisks. That is definitely a mistake by Devil. We do have the 3rd base getting put back up, and this base now just completing. WhiteRa is getting more Immortals. Some Archons, does have Templars in this one shuttle. Or Warp Prism, I mean. And Devil is just trying to get the creep over to WhiteRa, let WhiteRa engage. Both players at 100. We do have feedbacks going off on those Queens, but Fallen Growths go down, and these Ultras are just going to keep getting transfused. You can look at their health just go down and up. It is so hard to kill those Ultras, and those Infestors will stop those Stalkers from being able to blink away. Not too many Ultras fell in that fight, and those Queens also do a little bit of damage when you have that many Queens. But of course, their main purpose is to just transfuse and keep everything alive. Still have 3 Ultras left in the main. And their Stalker's retreating where they can blink up on the high ground, dealing quite a bit of damage to that Ultralisk, but he does get away. WhiteRa at 122 supply, Devil at 182. However, this is the big dilemma with the Queen Ultralisk play, is he cannot engage WhiteRa just because how slow his Queens are. Warp Prism does get fungled, which does reveal it, and now Devil going to keep on moving up. Fungles a bunch of Stalkers, but again, as soon as these Stalkers get up to the high ground, that's all the pressure Devil can put on. His army right now, off of creep, it would be 4 Ultralisks. It could be 7 if he remembered about those 3, but he doesn't know about them. Let's just make sure. He has 11 Ultras out on the field, so now more coming in. He is going to be taking out WhiteRa's 4th base. But again, just look how slow those Queens are compared to everything else. And WhiteRa looks like he is going to be giving up this 3rd base, or the 4th base, I mean, 3rd mining base. And he is going to be warping in a lot of Zealots right now. He is sending his forces, Colossus, Stalkers, and Zealots. And Devil has to bring his Ultralisks back. He cannot stay in this front line because the Queens is what keeps those Ultralisks alive. And now those Queens are going to be taken out. Those Infestors are going to come try to do what they can. But those Ultras, they are going to be going down soon as the Queens go down. He is focusing on this one Nexus. He could just clean up this army, but all the Queens do get annihilated. He has plenty of Ultras to take out the Nexus. But then again, those Ultras not going to stay alive nearly as long as they are used to. We have plenty of Ultras in the back. He will have enough to take this out, but it's going to take a while for Devil to reproduce that Queen count. He's going to learn what it feels like to be a Terran player, building units one at a time, and still 3 Ultralisks over at that natural. And WhiteRa is going to be in a little bit of trouble once this base does fall. Those Archons proven to be pretty difficult for those Ultras to take down. But this Nexus is going to be falling. There is no doubt about that. And WhiteRa doesn't have many minerals left at his natural or his 3rd base. He does have a Stargate out. He did kill a lot of those Queens, so a lot of the anti-air for Devil is now out, or taken out. But I think he did build a Spire. Let's just double check that. No, he has not. Meanwhile, a lot of Zealots going to be coming in. Lings try to defend this, but the Zealots do have 3-2. There's Lings not in high enough numbers to take them, but Ultralisks do come. And now those Zealots will be dealt with. He is going to keep his 3rd base alive. And this, plenty of minerals left at this base, so that is still very valuable. However, his natural, he needs to transfer a lot of those probes, and there he goes. Will he notice the 3 Ultralisks at that natural base? When he transferred the probes, it does not look like it. And Devil has his army split up quite a bit. And that creep now extending to WhiteRa's base, and now this is the point where WhiteRa has to be a little bit scared. He is getting Urkon Immortal out, which is going to be the hard counter to Ultralisk Lings. Going back to the Queen count, it is up to 6, so he has reproduced that, but they don't have that much energy. And I'm not sure why all the Ultras are just sitting down all the way out here. That is opening himself up over here, but he is very mobile. So WhiteRa can't really do all that much. Maybe he's just trying to avoid any type of observer so WhiteRa doesn't know where his army is. Let's just see WhiteRa's vision. It doesn't look good for Ukrainian Protoss right now. Ultralisk are going to be getting transfused. And now it looks like he will be trying to engage momentarily. He doesn't have to engage though, but if he lets WhiteRa get the magic composition against Ultra Ling, he will be in a lot of trouble. As this is a lot of Immortals and a lot of Archons. You saw how long it took just those 2 Archons to go down. Imagine all of these along with those Immortals. And Immortals deal a lot of damage, 65 damage versus Armored, and they don't really have many shots, so the armor for Ultralisks don't really do too much. They have 6 armor, but Immortals and Archons don't do multiple shots. And that is huge when it comes into terms of the DPS. And here we go. Big battle is going to be going down. I don't know where all the queens are. Maybe they are there. I don't see many transfuses going off. Big funnel growth going down. And there's Urkons forming a nice wall while the Immortals just lay down hell, taking out all of these Ultras really quickly. Going over to the queen count. Where are his queens at? Only at 2. So it looks like he did not have that many. Now WhiteRa has taken the supply lead with this composition that he has just built to tear through just Ultralisks. And Devil is in a lot of trouble right now. He is getting 11 Mutalisks, but you know what? Urkons do pretty darn well against Mutas, especially when his Urkons are going to have 3 attack. When his Mutas won't have any upgrades whatsoever, that may be an actual mistake to build those Mutas. And now those Infestors are going to get taken down so quickly. It's not looking good for Devil. Boy, did this game turn almost instantly. WhiteRa now going to be coming into the main base and just devastating everything that Devil has. Going to be splitting up. No, he's not going to split up his army. Just going to come here, take out that Ultralisk Cavern, getting more Urkons out. And there is nothing Devil can do at this point, I don't think. It's 87 supply, 253 in terms of the army. WhiteRa doesn't have an economy, so maybe I'm speaking too early. But Devil doesn't really have any units to combat this. He does have 11 Mutas somewhere. I don't know where they are. Doesn't have them hockeyed. Okay, here they are, but they are at 0-0 upgrades, while WhiteRa is at 3-2. These Urkons are going to deal devastating damage to those Mutas. 47 damage per shot against something with 120 life, and that is AoE, guys. So there's no way those Mutas can engage those Urkons. 10 Mutas would never beat 7 Urkons. He needs to get more out, but Devil doesn't really have that much money. And WhiteRa going to be taking out this third base. Those Spine Crawlers do not stand a chance. And now WhiteRa no longer mining. So if somehow Devil gets enough Spine Crawlers or something to just stop WhiteRa, then he does have a chance. I mean, WhiteRa's not mining. He doesn't really have many minerals left, 180, 365, so he could possibly mine enough to build a Nexus. But you can see, this is his army. He has no intentions of drawing the game out once this army does fall. So if, like, 20 Spine Crawlers happen to finish, and these were Ultralisks and not Mutas, he may be able to stop this, but I don't know. This army is getting to this base, but we have Spine Crawlers up over here, only 3. And now Muta's going to try to go on that Urkon. We'll just see them get evaporated right now, almost like being toileted as they all fall to the ground instantly. And now it doesn't look like WhiteRa can be stopped. This Spine Crawler is not going to be enough. Immortals just tear right through them. And Devil going to be falling. It's only a matter of time until the GG is called. WhiteRa winning this game just barely pulls this one off. I know he has a huge army, but he was not mining for the longest time while Devil was. And now, I guess WhiteRa is mining, as he does have a fleet of probes making the great migration, with 2 Lings just going to be going to town on them, but not really killing any one of them. More Lings going to come, and he does have 2 Ultras, but we have seen how effective Ultras are against these Urkons and Immortals. Not effective whatsoever. And their Spine Crawler is not going to be that effective against Immortals. They just pretty much one volley anything they can. The Colossus may fall to these Lings, but Urkons do well against Lings as well. WhiteRa not losing a single unit there. 2 Ultras are going to come. This is not going to end well. Just look how fast they do fall. And this is going to be all she wrote. GG. Devil almost takes that game off of WhiteRa, but it all came down to that one engagement. Oh, man. And let's go over into SC2 gears. Boom. Load. Oh, it's on private data. Duh. So, going over into this inject tab, it's pretty odd that he doesn't have as many injects as he has queens. We saw him have like 20 queens out. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating. Maybe it was only like 10 or 11. But he didn't inject this whole time. Right in here. Maybe this is when he moved out. Let's see. What time in game is this? 1917. Go over into StarCraft. What was happening here? 20 is fine. So he is maxed out and doesn't really need that much lava, but he doesn't have that much of a bank if his army does fall. So this is a little bit dangerous. I mean, he only has like 9 lava to his name. All his queens are out here. He doesn't leave any back for transfuse. It would be great. I would love just one queen to be back here and, yeah, one queen. Transfuse all these hatches sometimes. Just get that lava banked up on them. Because if he has to replenish his army with anything, you can see Devil just cannot do it right now. He is maxed out, but doesn't have the lava bank. And maybe you don't do that with this composition. I'm really not sure how Ultraless Queen works. I don't see it that often, but generally, I like seeing at least 20 lava when you max it out, so you can re-max out instantly. Of course, Devil doesn't have the money right now, but, oh well. We'll go into the other points in the game. APM. We do have 59 macro APM for Devil, 32 for WhiteRa, 90 micro versus the 78, 22% redundancy, 28% redundancy. Devil EAPM 116, WhiteRa at 80. WhiteRa spam APM 111, Devil at 149. And this is what I'm really interested at. This is the main thing I want to look at. Abilities. How many transfusions were used? We have 47 frickin' transfuses being used that game. That is a buttload. 8 feedbacks, 35 Archons, 5 Guardian Shields, 6 Force Fields, 8 Blinks, 24 Warp Gate Morphs, 61 Chrono Boosts, 37 Infested Terrans, 72 Morphs to Banelings, 49 Inject Lava. Going into units, we have 45 High Templars, 2 Warp Prisms, 9 Colossus, 10 Immortals, 8 Sentries, 63 Stalkers, 118 Zealots, 19 Mutors, 43 holy cow, 43 Autolisks, 33 Infestors, 22 Roaches, 346 Lings, 55 Overlords, and 244 Drones. Unit tiers doesn't really tell you that much. This game was pretty crazy. We can see that WhiteRa started his Colossus around the 15-minute mark, which is pretty impressive considering his Warp Gates finished more closer to the 10 minutes, so only 5 minutes after he does go up into that Colossus production. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be it. You see Devil spending a lot more than WhiteRa. About 26k more minerals and 6k more gas. Spending way more than WhiteRa that game. And going over into the Loss tab in case you want to see this. We do have the loss being relatively even at 6.7. That doesn't make any sense to me. We have Devil mining so much more. So ridiculously much more. He doesn't have a big bank. And his resource loss is not really... Oh wait, I'm at 20-minute mark. That would explain. I'm like 6k lost at the end game. He only lost about 9k more than WhiteRa. Going over the spending tab, what did he spend all his money on? WhiteRa spending more on army, a little bit more on tech, and Devil just spent a buttload on economy. Maybe Queens count as economy. I don't really know what they count as, but that will be it for the cast. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you next time.